Good morning, people. My name's Eldridge Cooke from eldridgecooke.com. I just decided to get involved in this kind of conversation regarding this Gangland documentary. Something that I was kind of toying with, because you sometimes only get involved in this because you're going to get a lot of people saying a lot of stuff. But first point is, we've got our kind of opinion. We can have our opinion on things nowadays because we've got YouTube, and this is what you'll be watching this on, or one of the social medias. First things first, I want to big up Terrell Lewis. Never met him. Obviously he's doing his thing, but he inspired me to make this video because no matter what you think about the video or his views or whatever, he went out there and took action to have his opinion on a situation. Yeah, so we can criticize or we can not agree with his opinion, but he took an action. And a lot of time, that's what I told people: take action, because we can talk about things over there or with our friends or whatever, but make it public, because basically Channel 5, they've gone out there and they've made a production and they've shared it with the population, and it's created a stir, and that's what it was meant to do. So yeah, big up Terrell Lewis. As I said, never met him. It's not a plug for him, but one day hopefully I'll meet you. And then you you inspired me to make this video. You inspired me to read up some of the comments and get the position and perspectives of people. Where can I start with this? Well, okay, big up Roxy Ming Lee as well, a youth worker. I looked at her video as well, so big her up. And this isn't a big up video, but it's just about what can we do about what's going on. We need to kind of speak a little bit more about these things on a regular basis. I know Terrell was talking about why did they show black boys, and that's a kind of thorn of contention. It's a bone of contention, because why did they show black boys? And it's true, because black boys are out there doing this thing. We are out there doing this thing, so therefore that's who gets shown. Point one. Again, the transformation from hood to good, if you want to call it that, is not a good story. It's good for us who are in it, but for the media and the TV and so on and so forth, this is about sensationalism, isn't it? That's what media is about, making things look good and whatever. So we feel emotional about this thing, and I get it, because I feel emotional. That's why I'm making a video. But what I will say is that it's time now that we, those of us who have not been in that life or been in that life or been successful or are successful, it's about time we took a stance and started to really not just lip service, talk about it and not do it, but actually start to take a stance. Because people always talk about the government cuts of services and all this sort of stuff. That means that we're waiting for somebody else to solve our problems. Yeah, and this doesn't matter what community you come from, because it's the same. And I think that's what we've got to understand as well. Yeah, wherever you come from, whoever you are, that you have to take responsibility for yourself. And obviously you can see white in this beard. So I've been on the planet for a quick minute now. So I've seen this thing for decades then. And you get the ex-gang member and they come and speak, and then you get somebody who still in the life and they speak, and then we get people who can make TV programs about us. And don't forget, this is all about advertising revenue, because Channel 5 will show that, we'll all watch, and in the middle of each, how many times did they have adverts in there? This is what we've got to check. All right, entrepreneurialism. Our young men are shotters or whatever, entrepreneurs. Some of them are, yes. Some of them have the idea to, what is an entrepreneur? An entrepreneur is somebody who solves a problem at a profit. So we have a problem that people want to get high. People want to forget their worries and smoke and do whatever. And these guys are supplying a commodity. The only problem is that we don't control the commodity. We don't control the manufacturing, the production, and the distribution. And this is what gets hit every time. We're almost the end users, the end distributors. So we make money, and I think I read a couple of comments underneath Terrell's video. Yeah, we make money, but what then? We don't have the wisdom and the knowledge to understand what we do with this money. We don't have the wisdom and the knowledge to see how we invest and how we create more. Now, it's like the blind leading the blind. People from the hood talking about hood stuff and why we should and why we shouldn't and whatever. Like, it's about people who have gone into the 9 to 5. It's about people who have gone into legitimate businesses, standing up and taking responsibility to share and show how you can do business in another way. How you could, what are you doing it for? Someone commented, yeah, they're doing it for clothes, cars and jewelry. Why? Because that's all they know in their immediate environment. Because like Terrell said, that's what goes on. But how can we change this? How can we change this? TV is not going to show transformation because that's not big business. That's not getting the shock factor. Do you know what I mean? But we, me and you and other people have the ability to do this, but we don't. But anytime anything happens in our communities, we're up in arms. We're up in arms and we're shouting. And the thing is, social media, I ran a workshop the other day about social media. Social media is good because it allows us to get our messages out quick and fast and we can share it with the world. But then what are we doing after that? After we create that stir? Yeah, so this Gangland documentary to me is about confidence and the lack of confidence. Young men's confidence, older men's confidence, you know, our family's confidence in trying to push the boat out, in trying to be better versions of ourselves. And okay, so if we've had generations now who have been to prison, sold drugs, it means it doesn't really work for us. Yes, we can buy the latest stuff, but it doesn't really work for us. So what are we going to do? So there's a little call out. I'm going to call out to some of the guys I know who they didn't take the road route and they're in industry and they're in corporations. But I think that they pay a blind eye to what's going on because it's not them. They forget the days when they might have done their ones and twos. And now they're in the working world, but almost they have a lack of confidence to actually speak about what's going on in their local communities and maybe open up projects and programs that young people can kind of get an insight into other ways of making money or other industries, because the more you know, the more you can grow. So this is my take on this Gangland documentary. I don't care about that, to be honest, because it's the same of the same. And like people are making points, we or young people or whatever in the music industry and whatever, it's not a blame because you're trying to do something, but you record yourself with watches, with chains and so on and so forth every single day, and you're getting mad amount of hits, and some of you are successful in your own right. But you've got to think about, like people say, you've got to think about the bigger picture. Today's today, and I'm a firm believer in the power of now, but I also have to send out the message that there's going to be a tomorrow, and what you do today will have an impact on tomorrow. So I think I'm going to end this video here. I'm going to make sure I do a little edit, get it out there. As I said, big up to Terrell Lewis, Roxy Ming Lee, because these are two people that I looked on YouTube and they've actually taken the time out to review this Gangland documentary. We now have the power to make our own documentary. This is a documentary, this is media, this is a story. Terrell's made a story, Roxy Ming Lee's made a story, and all the other people who decide to put their cameras up, put your cameras up and tell your version. Look at it from your position and your perspective, you know, and share it, because that's what we can do. And we've got to understand the real power of that. Yeah, we can get, you know, 100,000 hits or whatever, YouTube revenue and all that, if that's what you're doing it for. But at the same time, we can reach out and just give points of view and perspectives. You know, I do voluntary work and sit on boards in, you know, to deal with young people and youth violence and all this sort of stuff. And, you know, because the gatekeepers do not understand the reality of the situation, and I get it, because if you don't live it, you're not really going to understand. It's about you, youth workers, probation officers, and all these people I meet who do understand it a little bit more. Get your confidence up, push yourself up around in the echelons of people who are decision makers. And then we're not going to save the world, but we can then get out there and create our own media, create our own documentaries, create our own transitional stories, is what Terrell said. We can do it ourselves because we can throw these cameras up and everybody's got a phone or some sort of device. So I think I've kind of hit a few points, and I hope it's come across kind of clear. I got up this morning and I said, you know what, I've definitely got to make this video. I started to procrastinate a little bit. I started to kind of feel fearful. Oh my gosh, what are people going to say? Do I want to attach my name to this argument? But you know what? I've got a responsibility to attach my name to this argument. I said to my friend, brethren, whatever, yesterday, who does a lot of production stuff for me and that, let's make a video and kind of, back up to Terrell or counteract him, but in the same vein, you know what I mean? So we can show different perspectives. Then I realized, you know what, that's long. If I wait on people, and it's another lesson, if you wait on people, ain't gonna happen. So I've got out this morning, I've done it. My next action is whether I kind of do a quick edit and I take the time out to put this on YouTube. So if you're watching this on YouTube, you're watching it via Twitter, Instagram, or whatever, I've got 2 tags, at Mr. Satnav or at Eldridge Cooke or L Cooke, because basically, I'm an entrepreneur, speaker, I run workshops, but really, most of all, I'm frustrated. So when these kind of documentaries or films come about, I've always got a conversation that I'm having, but I've said, you know what, I'm going to put it out there to the world. So thank you very much for listening. Comment below, like the video, ask me any questions, because I appreciate that. I've probably gone over on certain issues, but we've got the responsibility, people in general, whatever your issue is in the world, whatever problems you may have or whatever problems you may want to solve, regardless, you've got an open forum now. So all you have to do is take action. And that isn't just about this documentary, but I thought I'd use the documentary as the hook and just get people to understand, and the power is with you now. Do you know what I mean? So we can compare about Channel 5, Channel 4, but they're about advertising revenue. Understand this. So what are you going to do for yourself? What are you going to do for your community, wherever you are in the world? What are you going to do? That's the question. Don't wait. Don't wait on opportunities. Don't wait on what people are going to do for you or what people are going to do for the youths or the government cuts. That's pants, as they say in London, if they still say that. I don't even know. But that's what I see. That's how I see that. So we have to do for self. I'm not going to go down the great leaders of the past or the great any revolutionary. Any leader will tell you have to do for yourself. You have to stand up and you have to be counted. These young men on the videos and everyone's criticized, it is what it is. We see them every day. We see them every day moving in that way. If they don't know any better, it's in the responsibility for the people who know better to teach them and show them. But I'm definitely going to cut this video off now. Big up to Terrell Lewis. Hopefully I'll meet you one day. So I like what you're doing, regardless of what people may say. If you're doing your own thing, you have to do your own thing. So you've taken the action to review it. You had your 18 minutes ponder, and then you said to yourself, you're going to go and do it. So action first, you understand? And all the people out there, success is failure, and failure is success, because if you don't fail, you won't succeed. You have to try in order to kind of, you have to try in order to get somewhere. So as I said, rambling now. Big up all the people who took the time out to review this thing. It's going to come on again. I think it's tomorrow. People are going to be up in arms again, no doubt. But listen, do for yourself. Do for yourself. You have the power. The power's within you, and other people who kind of look and they think it's nothing to do with them because it was a long time ago since they were in the local area. Think about it and see what you can do. Yeah? All right. It's not that hard. I know loads of you people out there. You're professionals, you go work every day, you've got these, highfalutin job titles or whatever, and you're so proud. You know what I mean? It's only a little conversation with your line manager, and you could probably set up a little incentive for some young people around the place, regardless of what their culture is. Yeah? Thanks very much again. As I said, this video is probably way too long. But anyway, you know how it goes. Take it easy. Eldridge Cooke. Peace.